Okay, you want a little positivity, Kyle. I was looking up, the biggest single season turnarounds in NHL history, and one of them is a team led by Jim Rutherford, the Carolina Hurricanes. So prior to the lockout that season, they had 76 points in 2003, 2004. The next season, of course, 05, 06, they had 112 points and went on to win the Stanley Cup. And Jim Rutherford had a couple big free agent signings. It was Corey Stillman. It was Ray Whitney. Again, not stars, but guys who insulated the team and helped them get the job done. Of course, they had a young prospect in Eric Stahl as well. But they also made a lot of trades that deadline, too, to help remake the team. Some smaller trades, too, even. Like they acquired a young Justin Williams for Danny Markov at the time. And then they traded away franchise icon Ron Francis, Arturs Urbe. And then obviously at the deadline that year, they made some big trades, picking up some guys that helped them win the Stanley Cup, including the big trade for Doug Wade, of course. I'm just saying, if you want to believe, you got a guy in Jim Rutherford in charge who helped usher one of the greatest turnarounds, one of the greatest stories, I would say, in NHL history. Not so much that Carolina won the cup, but that fact that team won the cup. It was not a star-studded team. It was a deep team that played good defense and had good goaltending. And if you're looking for belief, Canucks fans, I think the belief is right there. The man in charge already ushered one of the biggest turnarounds in NHL history.
Yeah, freaking 47 years ago.
Oh, come on, man.
It was 20 years ago. It was 20 years ago. It was 20 years ago, right? I remember that. I remember being in grade 7. And then infotech class or like computer class. And I remember the internet was a thing back in the day. And I remember when they acquired like Doug Wade and did they acquire Corey Stillman too? I mean, they must have already had it.
They signed Corey Stillman in free agency.
Free agency, yeah. I just remember them acquiring Doug Wade. Maybe they acquired Mark Recchi too. If I'm correct. Yeah. How do I have this memories? Because I know hockey matters, man. Hockey matters, man. Man, oh man. Dude, I want to believe in with like the whole thing about you talking about Quinn Hughes and having to win right now with Quinn Hughes. I get it. He's not just a good player; he's one of the best players of all time, and you got to lean into that. And you don't know when you're going to get that much talent in your roster again. And I hope that they can turn this thing around quickly, and like the new players that they bring into the door assimilate. Dude, I'm on fire today, man. This coffee is actually working, dude. And get into the program and do the right things. And there's so much hockey still left this season. And I want to talk about the playoffs and making the playoffs and whatnot. But a part of me is not already moving forward, but so frustrated and bored with this core that it's not just a 1-year thing. Like, don't call me irrational. I've watched this team over the last this core over the last 6 to 7 years. This is the same thing, the same middling team. It's the exact same thing. So, and a part of me just ready to move on from that core. Keep Quinn Hughes, but everyone else, like, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Like, I want dogs in there, man. I want dogs in there. I want a no excuse attitude. I want people who don't blow up to the media. Just keep it together. They're stoics. I want Quinn Hughes having some help in the leadership department. I don't want Tyler Myers. It's March. It's March. I don't want Tyler Myers being the second leading point scorer since January 1st. Yeah. And all that being said, I still want Rick Tocchet to be the coach of this team. And if it's not Rick Tocchet, I want Adam Foote to be the coach of this team too. I don't want to fester off and like find more culture builders and whatnot. I know like the blame does need to go around for this season, but I just believe they do have the right guys at the top and some championship pedigree to teach the right lessons. And I'm not ignoring the fact that, in the span of 12 months, Quinn Hughes has said Rick Tocchet is his favorite coach. And then he was just on TNT and he said Adam Foote is his favorite coach. So that tells me that, like, again, if you want to keep the culture together and like keep not the culture together, but you want to keep the teachers together and just like not have to break everything apart. If Rick Tocchet doesn't sign an extension and goes back to TV, like you just make Adam Foote your head coach. Keep it moving. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, honestly, that was really interesting to hear Quinn Hughes say. Obviously, he's talked to Rick Tocchet before, but to say that Adam Foote's his favorite coach, and I know Quinn Hughes had a comment too about a lot of coaches are yellers, and Adam Foote's more of a players guy. And I think Rick Tocchet probably toes the line between being both. He's pretty stoic in the media, but I would bet that he's got a bit of fire behind closed doors. Maybe not like obviously Mike Keenan level, but to an extent, like Rick Tocchet can be kind of fiery. But so Kyle, my story about Rutherford didn't move you at all. You're saying 20 years ago,
dude, it's like,
you
bro,
got no faith, eh? Well, I think that again, the main thing with that Carolina Hurricanes team it wasn't the most talented team, but you did have Eric Stahl just like tear it up his rookie. And those guys are just impossible to find, right? Elias Pettersson could be that guy, and if he is that guy, then like the Canucks could go from being this like one of the most boring teams in the NHL to a Stanley Cup contender. But yeah, unless that happens, you're really grasping at straws for someone to break out here.
Yeah, 100%.